With that in mind, let's bring in our panel, shall we?
Let's do it.
Liz Peek, the columnist for the Fiscal Times, and Rick Ungar, the co-host of Steele and Ungar on Sirius XM Radio. To you both in New York, thanks for being here. We're glad to have you. And I'd like to start.
Always a pleasure.
Good deal. So that we start with a spirit of unanimity. Now it may change. Let's listen. Let's listen again to Josh Earnest when he was asked about how President Obama believes he has the moral authority against enhanced interrogation, but of course can allow those drone strikes to continue. Here's what Josh had to say.
Well, I think that the difference here, Ed, is, and this is a stark difference in the way that the United States conducts our policy and the way that terrorists around the world conduct their policy. There is significant care taken and there are significant checks and balances that are included in the system to ensure that any counterterrorism action that's taken by the United States of America does not put at risk innocent lives.
But wait a minute. Now, Liz, doesn't the drone policy put innocent lives at risk?
It clearly does, and there have been many instances where innocents were killed along with the bad guys. But beyond that, the problem with the drone program is we get no intelligence from it. I think that's a very major shortcoming. And look, it's clean, it's simple. The president's hands remain untouched by the dirty deeds of the black ops group. But the truth is it's not very productive. And the number one guiding principle for all these activities should be what is in the nation's best interest security-wise.
Rick, we want to get your thoughts. Do you agree?
Yeah, you know, unfortunately, I'm not going to give you the fight you want. I think everything Liz just said makes a lot of sense. You can't help but think that 10 years from now, what we're experiencing today with the CIA torture report, we're going to be experiencing a report having to do with the drones. Look, drones in many ways are even worse than the torture problem because we kill them. We don't even let them stay alive. It's very problematic. It's absolutely true. There's an enormous amount of collateral damage. And my own take has always been that we're probably creating 10 enemies for every one of our enemies that we kill. So it is problematic.
So, and one of the problems is, of course, that the president and presumably some of the leftist elite saying torturing terrorists is wrong, but killing them is something that should continue. Again, sacrificing the intelligence. How, aside from President Obama with perhaps, quote, the burdens of office, how widespread is that opinion on the left, Rick?
You presume that I'm a liberal elitist, JD.
Oh, no, sir, I don't. I know you have good for you. You give us the insight. Yes, right, you're our double agent with the liberal elite, so tell us.
Actually, I think you'll find more objection to the drone program on the left than you might imagine. To be honest, knowing that as you know, I have a lot of friends on the other side of the aisle, I think they're more supportive of the drone program than the progressives are.
Well, let me ask Liz about that. Will we look back one day in history on drone strikes the way that so many in the popular press look at, quote, torture? We've got about a minute,
I think
Liz.
this is scratching a political itch, right? The left has been on President Obama to address this CIA enhanced interrogation practice for a long time. It's very hypocritical in my view because Democrats on the intelligence committees were briefed 40 times about this program while it was going on. People like Nancy Pelosi have since said that's not true, but it is true. They knew what was going on. They condoned it. They wanted the information. So to me, this is smacking of hypocrisy. For one thing, the Democrats could have passed a law outlawing this stuff. They haven't done that. Why haven't they done that? Why have this enormous eruption of angst over it instead of just passing a law? It's a good question.
We have laws. I mean, to be fair, we do have laws against some of this stuff. Look, JD, I've always said there's one standard you can use that will answer a lot of these questions. When times get incredibly tough, as they did after 9/11, do we behave according to our principles or by what's going to feel good emotionally?
And time is drawing to a close. Stick around. We'll have you both back following the break. Easy for me to say. We're going to continue the discussion. To Newsmax New York, Liz Peek is with us, as is Rick Ungar, and we appreciate you both being here. Let's get to it. Liz, do you have a harsh assessment of Speaker Boehner, or do you think he was doing the right thing?
Look, I think the Republicans have a wonderful opportunity here to put forward an agenda that really helps middle America get back on its feet. This is the message they want to take to the country in the 2016 election. It is not the time to engage in shutdown tactics or other extreme measures which are going to do what? What are they really going to what are we going to look forward to if that happens? Just another crisis for the Republican brand. This is a huge opportunity. We have the country behind us on almost every major issue. Not the time to blow it by kowtowing to the extreme segment of the party.
So, Rick, do you think the Speaker of the House is groovering, as Hannity put it?
You know what I think is you need to get more sensible Republicans like Liz in here more often. What she said is true. There was no upside to either party in leading towards a government shutdown at this time. Look, the Democrats, my own Democrats, put on a show yesterday. There was never a question they were going to have to vote for this and support it. Because guess what? If you had a 3-month continuing resolution, it isn't getting better when we get into the next Congress. It's only going to get worse if you're a Democrat. This was likely the best deal the Democrats could hope for. And Boehner believed that he wanted to clear the decks for the new Congress to come in. Look, you know, far be it from me to be supportive of John Boehner, but I think sometimes my friend Sean is way too hard on him.
Okay, 2 minutes left here, and we'll get your opinions. I'd love to offer mine. I guess that's why I have a commentary later. But my old colleague Louis Gohmert of Texas sure didn't like it. Here's what he had to say.
There was no encouragement to conservatives. The Speaker, Majority Leader, those folks knew there's money for abortion, money for the EPA to hurt states like Texas, Arizona. There's just all kinds of money in there for things we don't support. We were willing to work with them to compromise, and not one word. As you know, the calls went to the White House. When in a time that the Speaker needed votes, he turned to somebody that he really identifies with, the President and liberal Democrats, and got them to help him pass this vote.
And Louis there, along with my old Arizona colleague Matt Salmon on the Fox News channel. Liz, here's the thing. It's not just a Texas truism. It's political. You dance with those what brung you. When you turn from the conservative base, it makes it very tough politically, does it not? About a minute left. Take 30 seconds and we'll let
Look, I think what we should all remember is what we should remember here is that Nancy Pelosi hated this bill. Elizabeth Warren hates the bill. That's good enough for me. If they're on the other side of it, I feel pretty good about this bill. Look, any spending bill of this magnitude is a mess. There are so many things in there. I'm going to spend the weekend going through it and just taking pot shots at all the stupid things we're spending money on. That's what we should be focused on in the next Congress, in my view. Americans are so tired of bad leadership and stupid government. I would just, what do I want for Christmas? I want smart government. I don't want to be funding projects and investigations and things that most of the country really doesn't care about. I could give you a list of 10 things that are just idiotic. So let's move on from this. Let's get into place. And again, let's remind voters why they elected everybody in
Fair enough, Liz. And Rick, we're going to listen for your response on Steele and Ungar. Thanks to you both for being here. America's Forum is coming right back.